Meanwhile, we want to show you this, marking 50 years after the death of an American icon, civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was gunned down on April 4th, 1968. Hours after he delivered his famous mountaintop speech, a half-century later, his legacy and words have made an indelible impact on American culture. Joining us right now is communication strategist, 279 for Change founder and author of Words That Shook the World, 100 Years of Unforgettable Speeches and Events, Richard Greene. Richard, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Hi, Maria.
As we look back, Dr. King's words, probably some of the most recited of the 20th century. Why do you think his words continue to inspire today?
Martin Luther King was the best there ever was at giving a speech and moving people. He was probably one of the finest speechwriters in American history, and for sure one of the best speech givers. And the thing that he teaches us from the mountaintop speech or the I Have a Dream speech is that sense of authentic passion. He reached into the core of his soul. Every single time he spoke, he was honest, he was clear, he had integrity, and he was unwavering. And that's what makes a great public speaker, whether you're in the business segment or you're in politics.
It really does. And Chris Hogan, you know, we look at Dr. King's speeches, and we know that it actually hits us emotionally. He didn't say, I have a business plan. He said, I have a dream.
He really did. And it's one of those things, you start to look at this, you understand the impact of these words because they were coming from his heart. And he had a hope. You know, he had an idea of what things should look like and that people should be able to strive for more for themselves and their families. And so it's not an accident that these words still resonate with us, because I think still here today, we still have these ideas and these goals for ourselves and our families.
Don.
Yeah, no, it captured the essence of America, optimistic society, dream of a better life for all Americans and an environment of true equality. And so that is, and of course, our founding fathers wanted us to, have a more perfect nation. And so that's been the goal of the country and since its foundation. And while it's been a winding road to get there, and I think that those words ring emotion and bring emotion today because they are challenging us as Americans to do better, be better.
I was looking at, if you were wondering what I was looking at on my phone, I was looking at the text from the speech. And it's important to go back and read the entire mountaintop speech. I was listening to the final, like, 2 minutes of it. I was watching the video of it last night over and over and over again. But we talk about Dr. King and his incredible speaking ability and that preacher's voice and that preacher's cadence. And is there anybody, certainly in public life, who speaks that effectively today? I can't name anybody.
Well, Barack Obama was an incredible orator.
Close. I think he would be close to it. Because
Barack Obama, yeah, that was one of his skills for sure.
He made us dream of a better world and a better life, and that inspired us all to do better. But recognizing
his policies didn't, but his
words did.
His words did.
But I remember the speech that he gave, the eulogy at the Mother Emanuel Church after that shooting down in Charleston, and I think that is one of the greatest moments of his presidency. But again, there was no speaker like Dr. King.
Yeah,
no speaker.
You're right. Let me move on to 279 for Change, Richard. You're calling for a revolutionary approach to politics, focusing on 3 core principles, not voting for candidates, but voting for issues. Explain your mission, sir.
Right. By the way, I agree with you, Dagan. The last 2 minutes of the mountaintop speech, probably the most exciting, most moving 2 minutes of recorded oratory in the history of mankind. Do yourself a favor and watch that. It was given 50 years ago and 1 day ago.
That's how powerful it is. Because you can hear Dr. King speaking those words in your head, even if you've only heard the speech once.
Yeah, I teach it all over the world, and people cry. Business people literally cry when they see that. So, Maria, clearly our system is broken, but the Founding Fathers had it right. And we don't know this, but there is a magic number to getting whatever you want in America, and that is the magic number of 279. Whatever it is you want, forget political parties, forget the candidates and their personalities and scandals. Just focus on a piece of legislation that you want that's meaningful to you, whether it's about jobs in the economy or getting money out of politics or increased wages or environmental protection or lower taxes, whatever you want. if you can get 218 members of the House elected, and every single member of the House is up every 2 years, if you can get 60 members of the Senate elected or persuaded, and you get one person in the White House to sign that bill, whatever you want becomes the law of the land.
Yeah, but how are you going to do that?
So
how are
I
you
think
going to
we
get
need
218 and 60 in the Senate? I mean, they can't even get enough votes to get a legislation done on health care. You know, we got the big thumbs down, and that hurt. They couldn't even get the military money to spend without spending and breaking the bank by getting the votes.
But that's the beauty of what the Founding Fathers created. They created a revolution every 2 years. You simply go to the polls on November 6th, and before you do, you ask your candidates, are you going to vote for this bill? If so, I'll vote for you. And you do that, and you get your 218, because there are a lot of things in the United States where a vast majority of America wants it. For example, getting big money and big money lobbyists out of politics. There are bills actually that can do that, and one that's going to be introduced in a couple weeks, which is going to almost completely take big money lobbying out of politics. So if people want that or whatever you want, just hold your candidate accountable. Say, I'm not going to vote for you unless you vote not for this issue, but for this specific bill. And you whip the 218, the 60, and then in 2020 you whip the president who's going to sign the bill that you want.
All right, we will see about that. Well, and by the way, not one Democrat voted for the tax bill. So that's one thing to consider.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want that tax bill, or if you want even more tax bills like that, make sure there are 60 senators who agree with that particular piece of legislation in the Senate, and 218. It's
focus on the
politics
issues.
is just math. It's second-grade arithmetic, and if people focus on that, we can get whatever we want.
Thanks, Richard. Richard Greene. We'll see you soon, sir. Thank you.